we actually live now?
No.
Yeah,
Oh.
we're live. We're live. Go.
Okay, we're live. Great. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Gamers Industry Podcast, episode 48, I think.
Yep.
Yes. We had a break last week because Red Dead Panda's selfish, and so so we thought we would have a break.
And you won't do the show without her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't do the show because I love her. She's my girlfriend.
You're fucking creepy.
Was a bit creepy. So welcome back. You cringing inside.
Yeah.
You're spasming right now.
I'm just gonna mute myself and not attend the podcast
for a week. So yes, welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're still here after all that chat. Episode 48, and we've got a load of great topics. But let's first introduce the panel. We've got the Red Dead Panda herself. Red Dead Panda.
Hello. Thank you for the lovely introduction there, EliteGamingGuru. Yes.
It's all right. It's all right.
What have I been up to? As I wasn't here last week, I was doing I'm helping my parents renovate. But like, I've been playing a bit more Tunic and just more Halo. I haven't actually really gamed that much this week, which is kind of sad. I've been really, really busy. Yeah, but I did manage to do some recording for some gameplay, and that's about it. That's all I've really done. Yeah. But yeah. Shout out to everyone who's watching us live. Thank you, as always, for joining us. But we also have the amazing Ashtray Gaming with us this morning. And Ashtray, how have you been, and what have you been up to?
Good morning and good evening, everybody. Me, I haven't been up to a lot. I actually haven't been gaming that much this week either. I know it's a bit crazy, but I've sort of been a little flat this week, so I haven't even been trolling on Twitter that much. I mean, a little bit, but because I can't help myself, but not that much. So just been keeping a low profile this week, but ready to talk about some pretty interesting topics today.
Yeah. So I just want to. So the gameplay today is, I think, is Tunic, is it? Red Dead Panda.
Indeed.
Yeah, it is.
How are you playing it? How are you enjoying it?
I really enjoy that game. It's super cute, and I think it's crap that a community is upset because they're like, it's a Zelda clone. I'm like, oh, not really. It's not really a Zelda clone.
It looks like Zelda.
Well, I mean, you're complaining about a game that isn't like, no, Zelda isn't on any other platform other than Nintendo, and now there's something sort of similar. I guess I do see the similarities between it, but like, it's also not the same at the same time because of how difficult it is comparatively to Zelda. But yeah, I've been really enjoying it. There's lots of secrets in the game that you have to find. Like, I just found out that there are fairies in the game because I walked into this room where there's like this golden box. And I was like, I don't know what to do with this golden box. And it was just floating around. And then I found out about fairies and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, there's lots of secret passages, hidden things in the game. And you'll see some of them in the gameplay today.
Nice.
But yeah. Really good. If you haven't played it, play
yeah,
it.
I've still yet to play it. I was actually thinking about downloading, what's that? The little one you wanted to play. I didn't realise it's like Borderlands. The little
Tiny Tina's Wonderland?
Yeah. I didn't realise. I'm sure I only saw clips and it looked more like a Baldur's Gate, sort of, but a cartoony version.
It's cell shaded. It's a cell shaded game, just like Borderlands.
Yeah, I didn't realise it like that. So I might actually download that, and it's co-op as well. So it basically is like Borderlands, isn't it? But so I might actually buy that so we can all play it.
Apparently, the gameplay and the guns are really good. So
yeah, I think it was Colt was saying that, wasn't he? Yeah, he said he's really enjoying it, and I'll see him playing it today. I've been playing Hunt Showdown. Don't know if any of you played Hunt Showdown. I'm loving that game. I'm really getting into it now. So yes, it's brutal. I think I said it before. It's a cross between sort of Red Dead Redemption meets what's that game? That horror game, Silent Hill. It's kind of if you mix the two up. It's quite, spooky. But I'm really enjoying it. But I'm going to run into the topics now because before I just start waffling on about stuff. Oh, let me just shout out the gang who we've got in our posse so far. In the chat. We've got Dauntless Dragon. Hello, Dauntless Dragon. Are you still there? Me and him have been having a few to and fro's on Twitter, but it's all harmless fun. They did call me a poo face, which I didn't take lightly.
That's because you need to wipe the poo off your face.
It is accurate.
Yeah.
It could be poo poo, but it's just like it's too far, man, too far. I was think. Stroke me started. We just started. What was we laughing about the other day? We couldn't stop. I was think.
I think the topic was you again as well. Yeah, that sounds quite funny. Yeah.
She's brutal today. I think she's on the. It's because she's on the Bourbon.
I'm so
We've
good.
got,
10 a.m. in the morning.
Like we believe that. We've got Amazink, who was first. Yeah, and she's no. You number one, and she's no elite. So, guys, thank you for dropping by, and let's get into the topics. I keep drifting away from my mic. Sorry. Right. State of PlayStation announces rebrand of PS Plus Plus Now Plus Plus, which will be launching in June. I'm only kidding. It's not called. It's not called that. It's going to be launching in June.
That was on the table.
It probably
They
was.
shopped that around a little bit
Yeah.
and went, you know what? It's a little bit wordy, yeah. So
Yeah.
they moved on.
Wordy.
That's
Should we
the
keep
one
Spartacus? No. Couldn't they just come up with some sort of, I don't know, just name for it?
Seriously, how hard is it to call it Play Pass?
Yeah.
Right, come on, 2 words. It makes it seem like it's more of a rival to Game Pass.
But it sounds more like something that they'd watch as porn on there instead.
What is wrong with you?
That's in the top tier.
Premium.
Yeah, tier 3 Pornhub.
Sorry guys, and shout out to Other Zinc. Hello.
Rubbish.
I'm awful.
Rubbish.
Yeah, rubbish.
Rubbish. So,
Sorry, back on topic. Continue.
So, yes, PS Plus Plus Plus. It's, oh man, what's gone wrong now? So there is, we all know, we've all been reading about it. So they've finally released Spartacus, and all the rumours were true. That it's crap, basically. it's. Oh, have we got the thing? We ain't got it on here. Unless we have, I'm gonna open it up. Unless you want to lead with this, Red. Because you already know, because you're brilliant.
Yeah. I have the topics. Okay, so
I was just looking at the prices. I've got the prices. Okay,
That's what he means.
You go.
He means you're organised.
yeah, exactly. So back in what is it? PlayStation Plus launched back in 2010, and then PlayStation Now also launched as well. I don't think it was 2010 that year. I don't think they launched the same year, did they?
Not sure.
But that was the first console streaming service, PlayStation Now. So they've just rebranded PlayStation Now and kind of added it into the PlayStation Plus service. So you're not confused about the services and the 2 different subscriptions. There are now 3 tiers. And I think that was the right thing to do. I don't think there are going to be a lot of people who are subscribing, but I'll quickly go through the tiers options. So we've got PlayStation Plus Essential. So benefits is the same exactly as what PlayStation Plus is now. If you have it, you get your 2 monthly downloadable games, you get discounts, you get to pay for cloud storage for your saved games. I really want to point that out. And just like on Xbox, you have to pay for online multiplayer access. Obviously, free-to-play games are free. So there's no changes to the existing PlayStation Plus members in this tier. And it is in the United States $9.99 a month or $59.99 yearly, so $60 a year. Then we have PlayStation Plus Extra, and that has everything that the Essential tier has, but it adds up to 400 of the most enjoyable PS4 and PS5 games, and they include blockbuster hits from PlayStation Studio catalog and some third-party partners. The Extra tier also, like this tier, also allows you to download those games to play as well, which is nice.
Is it called Extra because their fans are extra?
No, it's because they wanted to charge you extra. So there's what you need to pay minimum, and now there's the extra charge on top of that. Yeah, but their toxic community is extra. That's all I'm going to say. The majority of them are okay. Some of them are misled, but in the United States, it's $14.99 monthly or $100 a year. And then you have the premium. You're gonna die in a second. You're just gonna die laughing all the time. So that provides all the benefits from Essential and the extra tier. And then you get up to 340 additional games, and that includes like PS3 games. They're only available by cloud streaming, so it doesn't matter whether you have the disc version or the discless version. I hope no one licks their gaming discs. Discless version of the PS5. You have to.
That's got a little hole in it.
So they've put backwards compatibility basically behind a paywall. They've got a catalogue of beloved classic games from PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and PSP. And there's some offers for cloud streaming for those, including like PS4 games, and so on and so forth. And then they've got time-limited game trials, which will also be offered in this tier. So they can try select games before they buy them. Basically, you're paying for demos.
Yes, it says break this down then. If you bought tier 3, what you're in. So it for a month it costs more than Game Pass, but really they're trying to push you to buy an entire year subscription.
Yes, because you're locked in for a year.
Yeah, you're locked in for an entire year. And then what they're charging you essentially is they're charging you for demos, which are generally free. They're charging you for cloud saves, which is generally free. They're charging you for streaming, which is free. They're charging you for backwards compatibility, which is free. What do you get with this service, which is usually not free?
For the payers, right? But anyway, back to the price, so everyone's got this. So we are somewhat decent, professional, organised channel. The cost is $17.99 monthly, so $18 a month, or $120 yearly. But like as you said, I think Ashtray before the show started, you were talking about like in Aussie they offer PlayStation Plus Deluxe or something.
Yeah, so because Australia, New Zealand, and a few other countries don't
Tell us all about it, Ashtray.
don't have the cloud streaming available because we've never had PS Now. We don't get the premium version. They haven't gone, hey, let's switch some servers on over in those countries and bring them up to speed with the rest of the world. They're like, nah, we'll just make another tier, call it Deluxe, and you guys can eat a fat one. So the thing is that it's probably going to sit it at a lower price than what they're touting the premium at, and as it should, because we're getting less.
Yep.
Again, but it really doesn't do anything. You know, I don't subscribe to PS Plus now at all. Because there's just nothing there for me. I just buy my PlayStation games on disc, and I don't pump any money into their ecosystem other than just buying it from EB Games or somewhere else, and that's that for me.
I mean, because of all the hacking, I wouldn't give my money to them either. I would just buy the cards. It's not.
So I've had to buy DLC for like Ghost of Tsushima, and I used my PayPal account. Excuse me, to do that. So I wasn't going to put any credit cards or FPOS cards or anything against that. But they're saying that the service is going to cost about $25 in Australia a month.
What?
Yeah. There's an article from Kotaku, Australia, who basically like it's a guesstimate anywhere between 20 and 25 a month. It's going to cost the Deluxe. Yeah. And I mean, if you put all the dot points down and you put all the benefits of the service, and then you put down the Game Pass Ultimate, which I subscribe to, and we all know the benefits of that, and that's only costing me $15 or $16 a month, and I get all of that we know about. It's just not comparable. It just doesn't make. There's no comparison whatsoever.
Well, if it's $25 in Australia, I would hate to see what the price is in New Zealand, because I pay $20 a month for Game Pass Ultimate, and I game share with my sister, so we only pay $10 each of that $20. And I get cloud, I get backwards. I mean, I don't pay for backwards compatibility, obviously. I get cloud streaming, I get those free games day and date. I get access to online games as well. I don't know what, like, it's just price wise more beneficial. I don't pay for game trials. at all? I mean, Tryhard was saying that game trials are different to demos, but demos are still essentially trialing a game. Unlike demos, trials you usually have like limited access around the time you can play it and how many times you can access it, whereas demos you can usually generally, they're so similar. Like, why they chose the word trials, I think it was just to kind of pivot away from the idea of demos and make it more fancy along the lines of the premium wording that they're going with.
It's just different wording for the same thing.
Well, Tryhard said the demos are 5 hours. Is that been confirmed? I haven't seen anything.
Can you put a link in the chat for that? Because I'd like to know. It's not that I don't disbelieve you. It's just that I haven't seen it anywhere. But that was going to be sort of my next question was, how long do you get? Do you get 30 minutes, 2 hours, half a game? Like, it would be interesting to know how long you get. But
and it'll probably
still having that that should be in all tiers, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Everyone should have the option to trial or demo a game.
Yep, because why are you just leaving it just to the premium guys when or the PlayStation Plus Deluxe guys? Like, why are you doing that when everyone should have the right to play those trials and test them out to decide whether or not they want to buy the game? Especially when the games are like $70. It's a way of trying to get you to see an advantage of this tier.
See what Trial just said? You've got to use that 5 hours. You got to use that entire 5 hours in that one sitting. You can't stop and play the other 5 hours later.
What? Why?
So there's like one time access to the trial. And then you've got to play 5 hours. But I think trials will.
So imagine you're playing it. And you're only 15 minutes in, and then I don't know, your computer shuts down for whatever reason, crashes, or you get called away. That's it. Your trial's over.
Your PlayStation, not computer.
Yeah, you want to take a plop.
There's no computer involvement in this.
Your PlayStation 5 shuts down, overheats and explodes, and all cockroaches run out and sort of ransack your house.
Get to next level, mate.
Yeah,
that is crazy, because I mean, you think that if you pause it and hop out of that game to go do something else, maybe it is to go to school, work, or shopping, or you just need to do something quickly, but it takes time away. It should that 5 hours should then just resume from
that is
when
awful.
Because
that's not like a massive slap.
It's not like you're playing it, right? You're not actually moving the character around, or you're not. It's idle. It's sitting idle. So it's not like you're actually playing it. So, geez, it's not good.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What was your first thought when this was announced, Ashtray? Anyway, what was your first thought? Because I mean, it was rumored that it was going to be quite like some big news around it. What was your thoughts when it was announced? Yeah, your initial reaction.
Well, again, it's a bit of a nothing burger, isn't it? Like, I was hoping that they were able to. I mean, we kind of knew that they were going to put the two services together, but I was hoping that they would sort of add to that in more. Like, I know people say they don't want it, but games, first party games, day and date. If that was announced, that would be cool. If they actually had the streaming available in Australia and New Zealand, that would be something at least, in addition to what they've got now. Game trials, I don't really understand that as a tier option. Like, I know they need to make the third tier, bolster it up and make it look a bit more presentable and stuff, but I mean, if anything, wouldn't you make that one the tier that would have first party games day and date to entice people into that? Or even if it's 6 months after, like something.
Yeah, I thought they would do 6 months like EA Play does. Or EA Access, sorry, whatever it is.
Yeah,
that's my question.
And that's the other thing. There's no EA Play. There's no.
Why is there no Crunchyroll?
Why have they not put Crunchyroll and EA into it? PlayStation Now or Plus had EA, doesn't it? EA Access. They added it last year, I think.
No, it doesn't.
I'm pretty sure they did it.
Oh, I thought it has a separate subscription. I don't think it's added.
Is it not included in? No, yeah,
I'm
actually.
pretty sure it's a separate subscription. Anyone in the chat?
Try hard.
Tell us.
Yeah. I saw. Okay. Oh, I didn't realise it's a separate subscription. I thought they threw that in, bundled it in with PS Plus or Now. I didn't realise I had to pay for PS Now and also pay for EA access as a separate subscription. I thought they bundled them like Game Pass did,
Because
that
that's an
would,
ultimate.
yeah, that'd be
that's an
sensible
ultimate.
for the players.
But you remember how long it took them to get EA access on PlayStation? They refused to put it on there for years.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's because they wanted you to buy the games instead of getting easier access through them and not paying a subscription to a competitor. They want your money. They're a business at the end of the day, just like Xbox is. And one company is offering better value for money based on the offerings in the other company. And I mean, Jim Ryan has said that, like, this is what it looks like at the moment. Things can change, and they're
Lol.
gonna change over time. But I don't think until they give enough of an incentive, the majority of the fan base will upgrade to a higher tier rather than just essentials. You might get people in essentials and extra, but like the only people who are really going to go for the top stuff will be the hardcore PlayStation fan base, or some of the hardcore Xbox guys who still play PlayStation as well, if they want access to backwards compatible games, because maybe their PS3 died and they can't get access to those titles any longer. But I mean, the amount of time we were told that they don't play old games, and this is an offering, and Jim Ryan says they don't play old games. Like, who would want to play that? It's an offering now. You can't just put your opinion on there and expect, like, I think gamers wouldn't play old games. Gamers love playing old games in the sense of nostalgia. Like, nostalgia is a huge thing, and Xbox knows that. Phil knows that. He's a gamer. He plays video games. He knows that. But, like, Elite, what was your thoughts on this as well? Because, I mean, Astro said it's a nothing burger.
It is a nothing burger. Unlike Haven Studios, yeah, it's a nothing burger. I just don't get this, and I can't believe people are capping for it. They're basically paying, as I said earlier, for backwards compatibility with demos and cloud save. That's all that you seem to essentially be getting from this. Because you're still not getting games day and date. I don't get why they've not bundled in EA Access or even Crunchyroll, which they own. Why did they just throw it in there? It just sounds.
They just can't do it.
They just can't do it because they're not capable, and or they just can't be bothered to do it to change, and it just oozes greed. To be honest, I just don't. And because if you're paying, let's just say you're paying £18 a month. So you pay your £18 a month to demo a game. You like the game, and then you have to pay for the game, which is to cost another £70. So you've just paid like £90 for this game, basically, essentially, and it just seems ridiculous. I'm confused by it all. I just don't get how the media's not why they're getting support by people like IGN and GameStop for this.
What's really interesting, Elite, is that we know that NBL The Show 22 is coming to Game Pass day and date, and that's we all know that that's a PlayStation
exclusive
game, right?
Yep.
Well, it's a studio under, and you would think this would be the perfect opportunity to announce that game day and date at least on their new service. Like, what a missed opportunity that is.
Yeah,
because now you've got Xbox guys playing that game part of their service, and PlayStation guys have got to pay $70 or whatever for it. So, like, right there, just kind of tells you where the value's at.
I mean,
just in itself.
The game, the people that I tend to run into on Twitter on that community are happy to support the developers and are happy to pay full price, and I get why. But you've also, I think it's a bit disingenuous to go, hey, we're going to give you these things and then we're going to make you pay for every single game full price afterwards. I mean, there's a PlayStation Plus subscription. I mean, what is it called? Collection, sorry, which is really, really nice. But I mean, they could have just chucked another game in and said, hey, just to entice people, we're going to give this game day and date to you guys. It's free. But I guess it's part of the like whether or not they would have to subsidize paying an amount to put it on the subscription service, because we know that Xbox has been doing things like that in the past. But you've got to build it up. I think they're going to see how things go and then maybe decide if they need to change anything in the subscription service. But why it was such a big announcement, and why was it was it last year or whenever it was, there was an interview with Jim Ryan and they're talking about, like, is there going to be a Game Pass subscription competitor? And he's like, we've got more to talk about that later on. So he didn't say no, because this isn't a competitor. And all the people who say...
He said it is a competitor, though, didn't he?
No, he didn't specifically say it. He said that there's more to talk about that at a later date. So he didn't specifically.
But then he also said that they're not going to pursue a subscription service because it is not sustainable.
Well, I think in the sense of what Xbox is doing on Game Pass is what he was saying. Like, it's not sustainable for them. I think that's going to change over time. But I just surprised about the amount of crap on Twitter where people were just changing their mind about subscription services and going like, this is awful. I mean, they were talking about how Game Pass is crap, and then going, oh, this is a great value for money. But when you think about it, the monthly cost of PS Plus and PS Now is the same price as what they're offering the monthly price of PS Plus Premium. So, what, $18? Something like that. It works out to be the same. They've just added that on. They didn't give you a discount around that. The discount is through the yearly subscription, and that's where they're going to get people. The value for money. But I've been told time and time again that they are happy to pay more. So why... So I've had people kind of message me and go, well, it's cheaper to get PS Plus Premium than it is to get Game Pass. And I was like, but you've just spent the whole time telling me you're happy to pay more, and now you just flip-flop the other direction. Are you happy to pay more, or are you happy for value and money? That's the hardest thing for me, is like the amount of people who have said, we don't want a subscription service, we don't want this, we don't want that. Yes, it's not the same as Game Pass, 100% agree with that, but now you guys have changed your tune, and that's not everybody. Some people are just stuck to their own devices, and now... But you've got people who are now saying, like, this is the greatest thing ever. And I'm just like, it's really hard to have a conversation or take some of them seriously when they just change their stance on everything all the time. Like, if I was wrong, I'd be happy to admit it. And if I wanted to change my stance, I would explain why I was changing my stance. But all of them are just... You can't do an explanation on Twitter. It's because of the character limits. But, like... They were just so aggro and so anti Game Pass people or Xbox gamers that it just looks stupid now. Like, they look stupid.
I think that's where it looks really bad, because they go so full in all the time. They go in 2-footed every time into everything. They really hate on everything Xbox, and as I said, they go in 2-footed and everything. And then when it flips around, it makes them look even worse, because they've gone in so hard on something regarding Xbox, and then PlayStation's copied it, and they follow it, like, you know, subscription services, which they're all for, and backwards compatibility, which now they're all excited for. And I'm seeing messages that, I get to play this, I get to play that. It's like, you just basically said for the last 5 years, why would you buy next generation console to play backwards compatibility games? And now, old games, and now you're literally saying you can't wait to play old games now.
Yeah.
It's for just £18 a month.
I just love
and streamed.
I love the stupid comparisons online. They just make me giggle. Around, like, I mentioned before the show, around people comparing Nintendo having like 35 million subscribers for access to their online. And they were comparing that to the Game Pass or Game Pass subscriptions, which is 25 million. And they were saying, like, how is a service that's been out less got more subscribers than Game Pass? And I was like, if you're going to do a fair comparison, you should be comparing Xbox Gold Live, which is the access to the online system, like Nintendo Online, not Game Pass, because that's just disingenuous. If you really want to look at the subscription numbers, then you'll eat your words, but they're not. They're just thinking of, and that's the sad thing, is people are coming up with little things to try and pull away from Game Pass being a success and Game Pass doing well around the subscription levels, just to kind of suit their narrative that Game Pass is rubbish. And it's not, because if it was rubbish, there wouldn't be 25 million subscribers and it wouldn't be growing the way it's been growing. I think...
It's called jealousy.
Yeah, it is. I think Tryhard made... I appreciate, and like I like the fact that they've kind of merged them together and it makes things less confusing, because I would just get confused the hell out of when we were talking about PS Plus versus PS Now previously. But that's all I like about it at the moment, because get rid of the paying for cloud saves, guys. Just get rid of it. It's just really nice that if you just offered that, and I think that will probably come with time, maybe, kind of like how Xbox
They'd have to
finally
invest
yeah.
quite a
I
bit
just
of
got
money
to say as
into it.
well. Also, if I'm not mistaken, multiplayer and that used to be free with PlayStation 4 and that, but now multiplayer is also locked behind these services, isn't it not? You cannot play multiplayer games unless you subscribe.
Well,
Yeah.
if,
Didn't it used to
if
be?
You can play free to play, but that's it.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm pretty sure that it didn't used to be. Well, as we know now, their games are being online only as well now. So like GT7, so which is another reason why they was hating on Xbox, but now Sony's following suit. But I mean, in comparison now, because there's just divert just slightly. In comparison now, and in the sort of the aftermath of everyone laughing at PS Plus Now Plus Plus. Xbox come out and announce the family subscription model for Game Pass.
Yeah. Isn't that good?
sucks for people without a family.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm an orphan. I can't. Hey.
Oh.
I can't believe
Wow.
you just said that. That's so funny.
It was just right, next subject.
Sucks with people without a family.
Yeah, put your hand up if you ain't got a family.
So, if you haven't been paying attention on to what's been happening in the news, basically Microsoft is moving ahead with an Xbox Game Pass family plan, which is what the community has been asking for forever.
Years.
Because there's the option for like home gold and such on the previous generation, and like family gold, whatever it is, there, and there's nothing for Game Pass. And like Ashtray has said, he pays for himself and then he pays for another Game Pass equivalent for his son on a different Xbox. And I think
Because you can't figure out share play though. That's the only reason why.
We'll do this
We
after.
better talk about
after
this before
the
we've been
show.
live.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll sort you out, Ashtray, after the show.
Well,
So you don't
we've
have to pay
tried that
anymore.
before, and if we try to play the same game together, like say, for example, Sea of Thieves, it'll say, no, Ashtray is playing this game. You can't play it. So
Who's his
I-
Ashtray?
Are you under the same login, like profile, or are you under separate profiles?
separate profiles.
Yeah, you must have
Trust
done
me,
the
I tried. It
home.
didn't work.
Yeah,
It didn't work for me. So I was like, who cares? I'll just pay the
Yeah,
money.
help 'em out.
It's only like $10 for the base
There you go.
base Game Pass anyway. But still, this would be good because you can have up to 5 people in a family.
Yeah.
So 5
But-
profiles.
Yep.
But originally, when Xbox One launched with its DRM thingy, this is what it wanted to implement. It wanted to do this, didn't it, originally? And people were like, "Oh, I don't want to be always online. It's wrong. You know, I shouldn't be tied to my console. Yada yada yada." And now we're in 2022, and it's like, and now we're reintroducing it. Everyone's going, "Yeah, great," because
Pretty much.
Sony are doing it. Yeah, because Sony have done it now.
DRM
It's like,
is
yeah,
not
it's a
great.
good
Like
idea.
you look at the community of the backlash with GT7 when they couldn't get online for like 30 hours. There was like one track.
That's only not
that was
great because you just
available.
paid 70 quid for that game, though. If the game was free, you wouldn't be too bothered.
There was
But if
one-
you just paid 70 quid, you
I'd
got
be pissed
home,
off,
you
regardless.
put it into your drive, and you went, "This server's down." You'd be like, "Fuck, shit."
Yeah,
You'd be like,
so I mean, DRM, yeah, it's good for some things, but it's not good when you have no internet. That's the only
No.
issue behind it. But I mean, like,
Yeah.
you're gonna run into that anyway, I think. But I love this idea of like a family Game Pass option for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's brilliant.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be great. I
I'm
reckon it's
using
gonna
it.
move a lot of people off like gold and onto Game Pass, because I think they're looking at ways to do that and transition a lot of people across, because I think Game Pass can really grow. They're still making money from gold, which is really ideal, but I really think this is what is needed, because like I have like 2 Xboxes in my house, but I game share with my sister who lives in another location. So if it's frustrating because I can't always just adjust, like if there's a third person who wants to come around and play on the Xbox and we're all playing together, I have to like have a trial of Game Pass on my console upstairs, just so that we can all play together. It's just a pain in the ass.
I'm interested to know what the pricing's going to be. Is it going to
I
be,
think it's gonna be more
you know,
expensive.
$5 more expensive than what the plans currently are? Is it going to be $10, $15 more expensive? I mean, either way, it's going to be cheaper than having all these separate subscription services.
Yeah.
You're now going to put it all into one. So obviously the price is going to go up, but it'd be interesting to see what that looks like.
Would they
Mm.
have PC always involved in it? For the ones who like, would there be two versions of the family pass where you've got an ultimate family pass versus just a standard family pass? And you get access to a whole heap of other things for the people who don't want to do cloud gaming. And so I think messaging is going to be really key around that. But yeah, continue, Astro.
Yeah.
Sorry for
Well,
interrupting.
they could tie it into their tiers, right? So you could have family sharing as part of you know, maybe say, let's just say 2 tiers to start with, right?
Yep.
And the first one's only 3 people, 3
3 profiles.
profiles, and then the next one is 5. So then that kind of also helps differentiate between the tiers.
Yeah.
So maybe Ultimate gets the 5, and then the base Game Pass gets the 3.
Yeah.
And you know, something like that anyway. Maybe it'll need to be a third tier. So Ultimate's always at the top, and that's 5. Then there's maybe 4, and then 3. And then you break it down like that. And the bottom tier, which has 3, has all the gold subscribers moved over to that, and then they can opt to go up to the other 2 tiers later on. It probably working on something similar to that. It's probably more wishful thinking, I guess, but I think Xbox tends to have the tech to be able to do all that kind of stuff.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Greetings, sir. So
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
so I think
my only worry is that not that I care for corporations, but yeah, if the more and more people you're giving sort of services out live to, you've got to wonder if their profit margin's going to start dropping, and then will that then affect sort of the games?
no.
Because
So listen to this, right? So they're not worried about sales per se. They're worried about player engagement. So it's all about the engagement, and that's why it's a big push for Game Pass as opposed to buying the game. Because as long as they get that,
so obviously sales
There's
has
over
massively
100
dropped.
million monthly active users for Gold at the moment for our online system. So it's about active users to them. Yeah, they don't talk about anything else really.
Yeah, because game sales will massively drop if you buy one game and your 5 members of your family get the game, which is fantastic. But
Sorry.
they'll count each profile
sales.
that plays that game,
Ash,
and that
yeah.
But then how
And
they
that's what
make
they want.
money from that?
well, it's part of the service. So I mean, that's why the prices obviously have to go up. But it's all about player engagement and how much time you're spending on the ecosystem. It all works
Because
out.
at the moment you used to get things like Netflix and that used to do that, but now they're starting to cut back on it, aren't they?
Well, they've got the install base. They can do what the hell they want now, whether or not people stick with that. But there's so many subscription services that if you're not happy with one subscription service, you're just going to go to another. And all the people who act like subscription services are rubbish, they all subscribe to a subscription service of some degree.
Yeah, they do. Everyone does.
Yeah.
Everyone has been for at least 10 years.
It makes sense that what you're saying, Elite, and I'm sure that's definitely one of the major dot points to this whole how they construct it and how they put it together as a package. So definitely that's probably the first one that they've gone, okay, well, if we do this, you know, so much annual profit will be lost based on this, but we'll up it over here with the subscription, blah blah blah, and that's what they do. So that's why they haven't rushed this out. They've probably been thinking and working on this for quite some time because the community's been asking for it for how many years now? At least 10, I think.
Yeah.
So
because I think you find MTs are also shared. I think when you do the game sharing thing, I think it also shares MTs. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, microtransactions and I know it shares DLC, but I'm pretty sure it might sell split microtransactions as well. I'd have to check that. But yeah.
And will they get rid of game sharing? I don't know. I'm just saying.
I think they're going to keep it for those who don't want the family pass and don't see the equivalent of it. I think there'll be like a basic version around that. Yep. And I think you're right. We'll probably have 2 tiers around the family. And I think it's great news that this is coming, and it's nice that this is coming off the news around, like coming off the back of the news around PlayStation's news as well. But like, I was just thinking about it. we've got Family Game Pass, right? And then you've got Game Pass Ultimate, and then you've got PlayStation Plus Premium. What does that tell you about the two services, and what does that tell you about the company's approach to getting engagement from their fan base? The two words are so completely different. One sounds like, oh, upmarket, I'm going to make you pay for it, and the other one sounds like, yeah, ultimate, you get everything with it type mentality. That's how I'm sorry to backtrack on the whole thing, but that's what I was just thinking about and mulling over before. I was like, the wording, I think they misstepped on the wording about premium.
Well, I mean, again, you know, us Australians and New Zealanders, we don't even get that anyway. Our version of the service is going to be called deluxe. I mean, that sounds like a hamburger or something. So who knows? Who knows? But I think, look, it's a step in the right direction for the family plan. It's just another addition for more options, and you know, for families to save a little bit of money here and there.
Yeah,
It's just improving the service and the offer from Xbox.
Also, games you've already got, I wonder if they would move into it. So you could So I was just thinking, for example, Red, could then, if I do a family thingy that lets me share, and I've shared my 2 kids, but that would still leave 2 more accounts. Could I then share with you as well?
I don't know how
And your
that's going
sister.
to work. They might try and limit it to your internet, like who's on the
IP.
internet. Yeah, your IP.
Yeah, I think it would.
But then there's the fact around, like, if I go around to anyone else's place and I log in into my profile, I get access to it. So I think, like, the way I do my game sharing with my sister at the moment is her console was set as my home console, so she doesn't have to worry about anything. She gets access to everything I get access to. And then I log in on my console here. So I think you're probably going to get the same thing around people can have the home console set in another location, and then the person who's actually got the family pass under their profile themselves, like they're paying for it, they can log into another console and just still have access to it.
What about region lock then, maybe?
Yeah, maybe, who knows.
So you could do it in the same country, but maybe not in other countries.
Yeah, possibly they could possibly do that.
Time will tell either way.
Yeah, time will tell. I think it's nice that this has come back, because there's been rumors about it for a while, on and off throughout the years, and it's nice that this is now, like, Windows Central talked about it, and it looks like could even be coming this year. Yeah, fingers crossed it is. And then we'll have a talk about that and see what the offerings are.
For sure.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Definitely looking forward to it.
But we're talking about games. Oh, blimey hell! I just saying really spicy. Oh, shit.
But talking about subscriptions, right? There's that guy who's really, really trolling, and I mean, it's hard to look at a community where some of the people in the community actually don't give a shit at all about anyone else but themselves. In the sense of, they don't care if they have to pay for whatever they want, because they would rather pay all of that than have people who are on low income play games. So it's all about accessibility. Xbox have come around and said, like, we're trying to remove barriers to people playing games, which is why they made free-to-play games free-to-play, properly free-to-play. And they've put the gamer at the centre, and they're trying to make sure that the services offered are of value to the gamers and such. So, like, whether we've got an entry-level price into gaming, whether we offer family Game Pass and so on and so forth, but there are people in the opposite camp in the community, and I mean really, really toxic, who think that people who are on a budget and can pay for Game Pass are parasites. And they use that exact terminology. There is something inherently wrong with that part of the community, that they are gatekeeping what it means to be gamers.
Those people probably live from paycheck to paycheck and probably don't have a nice house like I do and a very well-paying job, but I don't always want to pay full price for a game.
Yeah.
I just don't see the need.
I don't see the need
to
either.
That's just dumb. That's just dumb way of thinking, and those people just need to be muted and blocked.
Blocked. It's so toxic. And if you support these people who are so anti-gaming, regardless of the platform you play it on, because you're paying for a subscription service, that's the problem. And I know for a fact that this person pays for a subscription service on Netflix.
Yeah.
Well, I know some of the ones that hate actually play a lot on Xbox, so
Mm.
it's all just for show. How about we go to the next topic
wanna lead
about
that one off?
E3? Yeah, so E3 cancelling again for the second year in a row, I believe.
Yes. Yep.
Yes. So E3's been cancelled, but it was cancelled last year. But Microsoft still held their own show, didn't they?
Yes,
They
did.
Which is
did.
an online show.
They did what over the interwebs,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
which I
So
would think they would do again.
I think they will.
yeah, they will
Especially
do.
with
Well,
Starfield coming
they've
out
already
next year.
said. Yeah, Bethesda have already said they're hosting a show, and they will show gameplay for Starfield in June. They've already said that. They said that about a month ago. So I think they're already primed, ready to show stuff. And then that link I showed recently, do you see that Red Dead Panda, where the lead developer of Fable is ready to show gameplay as well, didn't he?
I can't. You nearly killed me when you put that tweet out. For anyone who doesn't know, Fable is the reason I play Xbox. It is the first game I ever got introduced to and played on the OG Xbox system. It was my older sister's, her boyfriend at the time had brought it around, and I'd been playing exclusively on Nintendo my whole life up until that point. And I played Fable that way. So any news I get on Fable, I will die. I mean, I did a show on someone else's channel. We just spent like an hour talking about Fable. So I love Fable. Yeah. Can't wait.
So the link, was it legit or what?
Yeah, it was the lead developer.
The
He
developer
just
tweeted it out. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
tweeted it out.
That's awesome.
He's just joined off onto Fable and that, and he's keen to show they've got stuff to show, and he's keen to show it. And he said they're going to show it soon, didn't he? So
that's awesome.
So
Okay.
yeah, which I can only imagine it's going to be at, in brackets, Xbox's E3, which Bethesda's got gameplay to
Or
show as well.
Gamescom.
So
Could be Gamescom.
or Gamescom, yeah, but Gamescom's usually not until August, is it?
Yeah, but I think
think-
that gives them more time to work on it because I don't think Fable's releasing anytime soon.
Did they give a reason
Probably
why
not.
it was cancelled?
Oh,
What?
E3 being cancelled?
Yeah, E3 cancelled. I didn't really read too much into it. Was there a reason for it?
It was.
Look,
Sorry, go.
I think there's still a lot of cases around.
It's still
and things
COVID,
like that.
really?
Yeah, it's getting worse. There's another strain coming through again. So anyway,
Yeah.
they're hoping that will return back in 2023. But I think they're just playing it safe more than anything, and that's
Yeah.
probably the best way to go. I mean, you really don't want to be. And I know people will be disappointed and things like that, but you don't want to be an event where you become a super spreader and then you're in the news for not games, but for COVID-related news. And it's probably
I knew a
just
girl
the
once that
way
was a
it
super
is.
spreader.
Physical media that way, so you have to like wipe down every controller. So I think it's going to look a lot more like, yeah, I'm ignoring that. I think it's going to be a bit more like what it was when Xbox did their E3 equivalent last year, but they gave you like access to demos around that time. They were limited time demos, they were free to play, and you got to play some demos from their showcase. Of some of the stuff that they showed. So I think we're going to run into a bit of that. And it means that regardless of where you are, you don't have to be physically at E3 to play these demos, which is really nice. I think
Indeed.
I think once things settle down, we'll be able to play it. There'll be E3 back again. But yeah, no, I'm not too worried about this. I mean, E3 hasn't really been the same since, I guess, Nintendo...
Don't you dare say since Sony left.
Nintendo,
Don't
PlayStation
dare.
have left, because I really liked E3 around like going and watching everything that happened. But I mean, as long as PlayStation does something around the same time and Nintendo does something around the same time, it's just going to feel like an online E3 anyway.
Do
you know what I find-
do something last year in June?
Have they ever done anything? I do
I
say
don't
it
think
plays
they
on
have.
that.
I think they need
They
to,
didn't have
though.
anything
Yikes.
last year.
They need to.
So I
No,
wouldn't
they've
expect-
not done anything since 2018. I think.
I wouldn't expect anything. They might do a state of play or something.
Well,
but
isn't God of War
Yeah,
meant to be coming out in
Yeah, but
September? So they might
what you're
do
gonna have? You're gonna have an hour and a half show on one game.
state of play.
Yeah, which is what they keep doing. They've done it for Ratchet and Clank. They've done it for Horizon Forbidden West. They've done it for Deathloop. No, they just kept spamming the same game.
Hey, they could announce an exclusive trial. Because it goes live in June, right? They could announce an
Oh, yeah,
exclusive trial for God of War to get people hyped, to get them engaged in the gameplay, and then to get people to buy it day one.
Maybe.
I mean, people are going to buy it day one anyway because, that's what they're going to do. But that could be something enticing for them, maybe, potentially.
I just can't. I don't understand the mentality on Twitter that these Sony fanboys are getting excited, saying, "Yeah, it's cancelled because E3's Sony are not there." Yay, brilliant! I don't know why you're so excited about a games conference that broadcasts games and shows games off not happening. I don't know why you call yourself gamers, but you're excited for games not being shown.
Weirdos. Look, more importantly, do you think Bethesda and Xbox will have one show together? Or do you think that they will split
They did that
it?
last
Or
year,
do you
didn't they?
think...
Didn't they join together last year?
They will. And what about Activision? I mean, it's not officially there, but I mean,
Oh,
Activision would do
yeah.
a show, right? Well, how will that look? They might just have
wonder if
Activision
they'll
stuff
join
on
them.
their show, yeah.
I
Wonder if they're
don't-
showing like the new Call of Duty, or do you think there's too
don't-
much shit going on at the moment?
Nah.
Yeah, I don't think that Activision won't be on the same sort of
Stage,
time
but I
stage
think
as
they'll
Xbox.
do something. Fingers crossed, maybe.
Maybe, but yeah, it'll be interesting because obviously they're going to show a lot of Starfield, which is definitely something that I'm interested in.
That's all I'm caring
Oh,
about
yeah.
now since Breath of the Wild 2's been delayed. Starfield hype.
It's gonna. Well, I hope they show more Redfall as well. I'm
I
quite
believe
excited
we're
to
going
see
to
more
see
of that.
some Redfall. Yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon. Are we gonna do? Are we doing predictions now? Are we predicting now?
Oh,
Like
you gotta
2,
guess what-
3 months ahead?
What's the prediction? What are we predicting?
They're gonna show gameplay for Starfield, Redfall, Hellblade 2, Fable, and Avowed.
Ooh, Avowed. You
Ooh.
think?
I reckon they might do.
I know this sounds horrible, but like I would die if they showed Avowed because I love RPGs. I absolutely thoroughly love RPGs. Anything because I love fantasy and I love sci-fi. So like, if they did that, I would like Xbox. You take my money. You're already taking it.
I
Take
reckon-
my money. Like everything, like Avowed, Fable, and like Starfield. I'd be like, what?
And,
is
and
that?
who's the other one? Who's the other one that made
Oh, what
that
did
made
I
that
play?
weird game? That weird freaky game, which we've not heard from. No.
When you say weird
You know,
video
I-
game, can you describe it more? There's lots of.
They wore the mask. It was like Bioshock.
Oh, Compulsion games.
Yeah, Compulsion. And I reckon we might see something from Compulsion as well.
I really
I
want to
reckon
know
they
what
might.
they're doing. We haven't heard anything from them.
Yeah,
since
they have
got
been quiet.
acquired. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I reckon we're going to see something from Plague Tale Requiem because that's meant to be coming
Oh,
out
yeah.
this year, and we haven't
That's coming
really
out as
seen
well.
anything.
Yeah.
And I really liked the first game, so I really want to play the second game.
It'd be nice to see more Exo Mecha and maybe Ark 2 as well. They might be there.
Yes.
We've still got Scorn coming too at some point, or is that delayed till next year?
No, it's meant to be
I don't
coming
think it has
out
been.
later in the year, right? End of the year type thing. I think they announced
It was supposed to
it's
come out
definitely-
last year.
And
I'm sure it's definitely
Warhammer.
coming out this year. Oh,
There's actually quite a lot of games set for Xbox, which they could show. So, but I think as the first party of the big boys, I think it will be Fable, Starfield, Hellblade 2, and I reckon Avowed
started
will be the big
on
boys.
Hellblade too.
Uh,
That game is
Yeah,
going
I'm
to
looking
be
forward to
showing
stunning.
more.
I'm looking forward to seeing the combat in that.
yeah, did you hear about the recent news about it? Is that they're doing a much better combat system compared to the last game, aren't they?
Well, because
Much
They're
more
really-
complex.
Yeah,
they've got
much
her-
more complex.
She did all that combat training, and then the animators and stuff did all the combat training themselves, so they could
Yeah.
really. It's kind of like if you look at the behind the scenes around like a dev diary for Rise Son of Rome, where they actually hired a guy who knows how to fight like that, and he helped them with all making sure it was technically accurate around the use of the weapons and everything like that. And I think this game is going to be a lot more technically accurate when it comes to the combat because of all the work they've been doing behind the scenes. Yeah.
Indeed.
That
Just
game's
on that as well, we might see something from Contraband. That would be really cool. That's
Yeah,
that
or Indiana
heist
Jones.
co-op
Is it Avalanche
game.
Studios?
How about Indiana Jones as well?
No, I think that was we just saw concept art, like a concept thing around that, right?
Well, we only saw
Yeah, that's all we've seen.
that for
That we
Contraband
s-
as well, but
Yeah.
that's true.
you never
Basically,
know.
like we see for Wolverine. Yeah, it's just a little bit of
Well,
just
isn't Wolverine through like ZeniMax Bethesda anyway? So like they've got a habit of kind of waiting a little while to show their games because they don't, I guess.
Who,
don't wanna
Insomniac?
yeah. So I think we'll probably see that one closer to it launching. I
Yeah,
reckon?
probably mid 2023. Yeah.
Yeah.
but
What
the
about
game's
State of Decay
coming.
3?
Yeah,
We should see some gameplay on that,
I reckon.
surely.
Yeah. I reckon some
Surely.
they're going to hold back though because they don't want to show all their
wanna
cards at once,
they
or they
don't
just
wanna
might
blow
do.
our
They might just
brains
show everything
out.
off just
Yeah.
to just obliterate people. That's what I would do personally. I would do that if it's ready to show, and even if it's just a minute, I would just go look, just give it all. I just want to blow people's minds
What?
for that
Yep.
one,
I can't wait to
Yep,
see.
and
and just obliterate, and just throw it all in, and just overwhelmed. So you just can't. You know, you're like you're overwhelmed. You're rolling down the floor, just dribbling.
I can't wait
can
to
actually
see
just go with that.
how Starfield impacts subscribers on Game Pass. I think that's
yeah,
gonna,
we'll see.
Yeah,
Big uptick on that for sure. And we're all expecting Forza Motorsport 8 or whatever they're going to call it.
Yes.
So we should see something on that as well.
I think we're gonna see
Probably an
something like that, yeah.
announcement and then a drop within, I reckon, like that day, maybe even. You know how sometimes Xbox do that? They'll say, and now the game is available to play right now, kind of thing. So that's going to be a shit show on Twitter once Forza comes out. It's going to be awesome.
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. So we just want to talk about games because we're obsessed. Just like
We've
you
got
guys
Forza
are,
Motorsport as well. We've not talked about Forza Motorsport.
That's what I
Yeah,
just
we've got
said.
that and all. Yeah.
You
Paul wasn't
muppet.
paying any attention.
Yeah,
And
that's
what's
because he
crazy,
thought I was
guys-
talking and he went to sleep.
What's crazy, guys, is that we're already in April. So
I know, and it gone
June's
quick.
2 months away.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not that far. Like E3's, Xbox's E3 is just around the corner, really.
Yep.
It's been snowing today in the UK. It's just weird. The weather's just mental now.
It's because God hates
so-
you.
It's- Like, that's why I woke up this morning. The first thing I did was shake my fist at him. I was like, yeah.
Well done.
Shake
sir.
harder, shake
Alright.
harder, son.
Alright, back on topic. Has anyone seen the news around that insider leaking the fact that there could be a new Xbox console on the horizon? Have any of you
Yeah,
guys?
it's not a console. Come on.
Hey, they said it's
Nah.
yeah, it's probably not a console, but I mean
It's
that's
not.
what it's. That's what the article says. So that's all I'm going.
I still
with.
think they might be working on something that's like I got like a PSP kind of thing, small. Like,
Nah. It's gonna be a dongle. It'll probably be a
You think?
Cloud
dongle that you
streaming?
plug into your
Yeah,
that you plug into.
is
your
it
device.
is that an Australian thing? Is it
a
dongle?
dongle.
Yeah.
No, a New
And
Zealand.
they like one of your dogs that run those dogs and they run around your
You know,
wilderness in
a
Australia. don't they?
USB thing you plug into.
Oh, right.
Dongle. That's what we call
What's
them.
what's like the dogs you have running around the wilderness in Australia?
Dingoes.
Dingoes.
No,
yeah.
dingoes, yeah. Sorry, I thought you were one of them.
Baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A dongle. Yeah.
Dongle.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant us. Yeah.
What do you
So
call them?
my mind blew then because I thought he was referring to
Yeah, what do you
dingoes.
call those USB plug-in devices? Yeah.
The USB. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, USB.
Okay.
All right. All right. Well, we're
Interesting.
Ashtray and I are normal. You're weird.
Wow,
Majority.
I thought we established that a long time ago.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But what
But,
do you?
You've gone off topic. Insider leaks. The next Xbox console on the horizon.
That's
so
what
look,
we
we
were
already-
talking about.
Or was you?
That's exactly what we're talking about. But
Yep.
yeah, so look, on one hand, we already know, because Phil has already said it months and months and months ago, that they're already working on more hardware. So that's we take that, we put that aside. This is something else. It's not going to be a VR headset. So stop it, everyone. It'll be. Look, Elite could be right. It could be a handheld.
Yeah, I'm always right.
If it was a handheld, I would definitely get it because when I travel, I
The
take my
xCloud.
Switch.
Yeah.
I take my Switch with me, but it's not Xbox games. You know,
Xbox
I just
acquired
prefer.
Steam Deck. Did you not hear? April Fools.
It could be like a little PSP thing with xCloud on it, with Game
That'd be
Pass already
cool.
loaded into it and stuff like that. That'd be brilliant. Can you imagine?
That would be pretty cool.
Would
So
be.
no discs, no cartridges, nothing. It would just be straight up internet
Yeah,
and
straight up
cloud
in
stream all your stuff. Yeah, that would be
Wi-Fi.
sweet. That would be sweet. But I don't know.
Who was
I
watching
think it might
in
be
the chat?
a dongle or something like that. Because
Yeah.
you got to remember, there's still a lot of people out there that don't have smart TVs. You know,
Yeah.
there's still a lot of people that don't sort of have that. So it's probably just trying to get maybe access to people to have that. And it would, again, I think it would be that streaming service.
Yeah, and
Cloud.
I mean, Xbox just announced that they've opened up some more markets to xCloud as well, which is really, really cool. And I think that's great. So I think the more they're doing a lot of work around that. Like I'm waiting for them to open up cloud streaming available to New Zealand. It's still not available here yet. It's available.
Really?
It's available in Aussie, but it's not available
Yeah.
here yet. I blame COVID because it was meant to be available in the beginning of last year, but then COVID happened and they weren't able to finish doing all the servers and stuff.
Interesting.
But yeah, fingers crossed, coming soon. I really want to be able to just play.
Do you think it'll be this year?
Possibly.
Okay.
I think they've got a lot of things that they're working on, so they're just prioritizing. I mean, I can play everything else. I've got my console streaming, which is great. It's not too big a deal. If I want to go anywhere, I'll play my Switch. Yeah, but it would be nice to have that there, for me. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, Elite, what do you
Sure.
think? What do you think the leak is?
I reckon it could be something just
Keep your
irrelevant,
feet dry,
like a.
Elite. Watch out for that leak.
Yeah, I reckon it could be something irrelevant, like a dongle, or I reckon it could be like a PSP kind of thing, like a little portable Xbox.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, which might come out as a sort of the mid-gen refresh kind of thing. It might be just a little PSP portable, which would be half the size of the Xbox Series Slim, maybe a quarter the size of it, with a screen on it, and then that's not too bad. That's not too big, is it?
For handheld.
Yeah, it's got the controller in it and stuff. I don't know. Is that too big? Is that massive? I don't know. But I've got massive, massive manly hands.
No, you don't.
So I've got the
But
I've got the body of Tom Cruise and the hands of the actor that plays Jack Reacher.
Oh my god.
Wow, that's weird image.
It's oddly specific. Yeah.
But so no one here on the panel thinks that it's a mid-gen refresh. It's not going to be an Xbox.
I don't think they need a mid-gen refresh.
No, but
Might be they're merging with Sony.
Yeah. That's it. But yeah,
A bit.
honestly, and then this is the annoying thing is like, who was saying, like, Digital Foundry was saying, like, Xbox Series S is starting to show that it's getting left behind. It's like, but you've got to remember, most of the features in RDNA 2 that the Xbox Series X or Series S has aren't being utilized by developers. Like, it's not being utilized yet. So I think the new SF, oh my god, why can't I think? Super resolution, whatever it was, that 2.0 that what's her name is announced. AMD has announced will probably be available on those two consoles as well. I mean, that's what they, you know. I think people are just being short-sighted and just kind of, anytime they can kind of say something that they want to say, which is inaccurate, they will say it.
yeah, because the problem is that the Xbox Series S and X, which have the RDNA 2 features that aren't being used yet because tools, etc., the GDK, all that sort of stuff, it's because they haven't proven themselves yet. That's the problem, and that's probably what's really frustrating for us, that
I mean,
kind of know that it can and is capable,
look at Halo.
but we just haven't shown it yet.
Halo Infinite on the Slipspace engine should have been delayed. Once, and I'll say this till I'm blue in the face.
It's going to kick off.
Because the developers hadn't got used to the new engine. They're now starting to hit on all cylinders on the new engine. So, and that's why I think some of the stuff was a bit clunky around load-ins and like LODs and all of that, because they were still getting used to the console, and they spent a year improving the game, and just look what a year did. The developers got more experience and use of the engine, so they're able to make improvements. But I think we're going to start seeing more improvements for Halo based off the new engine. But it should have been delayed. If they're coming on to a new engine, who was it? Who said that? Was it EA about Battlefront? Right? Battlefield, 2042, how they had that new engine or
Oh,
something
yeah.
in it, and it added
Oh, isn't
18
that-
months onto their, like they spent 18 months trying to get used to the engine and so on and so forth, or
Yep.
updates to the engine, and I'm like, Halo had the same issue, so they should have just delayed the game, but they didn't. I mean, it got delayed 1 year, they should have delayed it another 6 months. Give them more time, because in another 6 months we could have had co-op at launch. We could have had a lot more content for the multiplayer at launch, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Well-
Isn't Battlefield 42 or whatever it's called,
2042.
Dear?
2042 coming to EA
Pass?
Access now, isn't it? Game Pass.
Probably. That's the only way it's going to do anything.
I'm
yeah.
sure I said that. I read that it was
it
coming
needs
out
to.
now.
Still
I
won't
think
play
I'm
it.
sure I read
Fresh.
that. Yeah.
won't play it.
Oh, I'm gonna give it a go for free,
You go.
and then
I'll
then
download
stop
it
playing
and
it.
delete it straight away.
yeah. So I've got to download it to see how bad it is. So that's a beauty of Game Pass. You can see a game go, that's trash. Just
know what,
confirm it's trash and play it. Go,
yeah.
it's trash.
The likes of
That's what I do to MLB. Oh,
343 should have done. They should have just made another Halo with their existing engine, so they had a game to release at launch.
Yep.
And then they should have had people, different teams working on the new Slips-based engine in the background. And then, halfway through this gen, towards the end of this gen, then release a brand new Halo Infinite on only current gen consoles and not worry about old gen. And they should have just done it that way.
Because like the people who knew how the engine worked didn't work for 343, so they had a big learning curve around that engine. So yeah, I agree. But yeah, I don't think it's a new console. I think it's new hardware, which is going to be like allow you to sort of game like you were on console, but not. But I think not much.
Try hard fan. We've got a super chat here. He says, "I'm very hot," and then he said, "What's your game of the year so far?"
Ooh.
Mine currently is Tunic.
Oh,
I really love that game.
interesting choice. Interesting choice, Mr. Bond. Astro?
I honestly can't say I've got one.
Nah.
I'm going to
Greetings,
fraud
Techno.
and say I don't have one.
Thank you for joining us. You don't have. That's because you don't play games. Because Xbox gamers don't buy games. So.
I'm still
Oh
only
yeah, I'm gonna say. So I think it's
halfway
hard.
through. I'm still only halfway through Horizon Forbidden West.
There's nothing really that I've really played, really enjoyed. That gone. Holy shit, this is amazing. There's nothing I've played yet so far that's like that.
I mean, it's only the beginning of the year, so I think I say game of the
Yeah.
year at the moment, but it'll probably end up being my top indie game of the year by the end of the year is Tunic. Because
That's what I'm
we
hoping
still haven't
Starfield
had
will
a
be.
lot of we still haven't had a lot of the big bangers come out that we know are coming
No.
out from Xbox,
No.
and other
'Cause
other
you- yeah.
developers, and studios.
The only one that I've probably played the most this gen is probably Halo Infinite. So I could probably add that as my game of the year. Will Halo Infinite actually count as a game of the year this year? Could it be nominated? It can, can't it?
No.
Why not?
So it wasn't allowed to be nominated last year because it was apparently late, wasn't it? It missed the sort of the cut-off.
That did, but so did Forza Horizon 5 for some things, apparently.
Yeah. So can they both be nominated this year?
Tryhard says
With Starfield and Redfall?
Tryhard says Sifu is his game of the year. Well done. And again, hello, Technos.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking forward to playing that. That was one of the few games, that and Deathloop. Oh, we've got Deathloop coming out this year for Xbox as well. That and Deathloop were two games that I was excited for when I see them on the State of the Plays. Because I liked Absolver, so
Yeah,
yeah.
there you go.
But they're the only things I'm excited for State of Play. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to get you to lead off the next topic about sales because I couldn't find where you got the source around this. So,
Shit.
Elite.
I sent it in our
Oh, you did?
Yeah, you
Yes,
did.
it
You are
did.
so rubbish.
You muppet.
So rubbish.
Shit. I'll go find it.
Yes. So basically, are you going to go find it?
No,
Right,
you go.
we'll wait.
No, continue. You need the topic,
I was
you
going to go
start.
quite a way. Yes, so recently, not that we care about salespeople. We're not here to talk sales. We don't care about sales. We're not here to support these companies by promoting their sales and that. We don't really give a shit because they don't care about us. But the reason why we do sort of mention this, or as I mention it, is because it's interested to see. For one, it just kills narratives, fake narratives, which do irritate us. And two, it's just interesting to see the market sway and how things are going. Because even without Xbox potentially not really dropping anything big this year, very recently, the past I think 2 or 3 weeks, they've been outselling the PlayStation 5, and I think the big one is they've outsold the PlayStation 5 in Europe, which I think's a massive deal because I think that's the first time they've ever done it. I think in their history, because Europe's been a massive.
That was last month, right?
Yeah, the PlayStation's been a massive. Yeah, it's always dominated Europe. So Xbox actually. So
As a fan base,
so recently sales have been coming out that Xbox is sort of outdoing weekly PlayStation in the sales fairly comfortably. I think in North America it's almost double PlayStation 5 sales if I'm not correct. Ashtray, isn't it? I think
so,
It's not
weekly.
According to the chart, anyway, as of the 19th of March, Xbox Series S and X in North America sold 145,914 units to PlayStation's 5's 95,256 units. So it's not double, but it's still a fair chunk of sales, and it's good to see because Xbox is its home is the US, North America, so it's bringing back obviously a lot of those 360 players that
Look how
moved
close
over
I think
to
that's what it is.
PlayStation.
like Europe and
Because what we're hearing now is that the reason why PlayStation's we're hearing two things from the fan base. We're hearing one that nobody wants an Xbox, it's trash, nobody wants it. But then the sales are saying that everyone's buying it. So then people are saying they're only buying it because they can't get hold of PlayStation 5. Which logically makes zero sense. You wouldn't buy something that you don't want just because you can't get hold of the thing you do want. Yeah, just not.
No, you wait.
Yeah,
Actually,
you
you
wait.
just wait,
It's not.
you know.
Yeah,
with the
you wouldn't.
cross-gen
Yeah.
games, you can wait.
If I went to shop to buy some jeans, I can't get the jeans, but they've got this lovely pair of
Skirt.
jean short shorts. I'm going to wear them until then.
A floral skirt.
Yeah, I'm going to wear a floral skirt until I get my jeans in. No, it doesn't work.
But obviously, got to point out that that in Japan, the sales are a lot less. So Xbox,
I mean, PlayStation 5, yeah.
yeah, so Xbox 3,562 units to 17,097 units. So there is obviously always going to be that disparity there. I don't think Xbox will really ever do anything. I mean, they're doing well considering their past, but I don't think we'll ever see it beat PlayStation.
I mean,
Yeah.
Nintendo's annihilating everyone in that market, so
They're on a
Well,
different
I think-
trajectory though, because their generation started earlier, so they're way more into that generation.
Yep.
They've obviously got a lot more units out before. The chips are smaller. They've been around forever. There's just so many different. Like you can't really count them.
That's true.
But if I'm not mistaken, isn't Xbox Series X also outselling the Switch for the past week?
No.
It's
In
not, okay.
in North America.
Yeah.
So again, Xbox.
So it can't be anything to do with chip. So it can't be anything to do with chip shortage, then, can it? Because
No,
the Switch is not shorted on chips, is it? It's not like running out of chips either, is it?
I wouldn't think so. Not
No.
not to the
So
extent.
people are saying
of
it's only
new
winning
consoles.
because PlayStation. It's only beating the PlayStation 5 because there's not enough PlayStation 5s on the market, but apparently there's loads of Xboxes because Microsoft, I don't know, are magically creating chips so they can produce more consoles. I don't know what their logic is behind it. But then, if that's the case, then Switch would still be leading, but they're even exceeding Switch. So people must be buying Xboxes because
Xboxes
they
are
want them.
available though, because
Yeah,
think
and the
about
Sims are.
they can make more chipsets for the Series S.
Yeah,
versus
it's
they
2
can
to
make
1, isn't it?
2 to 1, yeah,
Yeah.
comparatively, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, for those who want to play next gen and can't get a Series X, I mean, it's getting easier and easier to find them in certain markets, but in most markets, it's still sold out right away. You can just play that in the meantime. And it's not harmful having another companion device if you choose to upgrade to a Series X later on, because some people have never played Xbox, so they don't want to fork out all that money only to be disappointed if they, just in case, you never know. Like, it would be like me going and buying a PlayStation 5. There's always that chance that maybe I'm not going to be super impressed with it. Whatever. I've played it. I like the console, but I prefer my home on Xbox. But I mean, it's just fair to those people who are trying it out for the first time. They get access to it at a lower price. And then people who are saying, like, who are like complaining about the fact that the Series S is already going on sale in certain places. Why are you complaining about people getting a better deal on the console? What is wrong with you that all you care about is sales and all of the other rubbish that you guys come up with?
Months.
Yeah, it just seems pointless to me. That they're just spending this time gatekeeping bundles and deals on consoles and so on and so forth. If you could get your PlayStation 5 day one at less than the price that it launched at, then yes, you would choose to buy it at a cheaper price point. Because who wants to waste all their money? Because gaming is expensive. If I look at how much I've spent on gaming in the last 10 years, I've spent probably about 20 grand. And that's just me. And I'm just like, oh, gaming is really expensive. And that's 20,000 New Zealand dollars, so it is expensive. But yeah, I don't know. Just seems interesting.
Yeah. Should we? Should we move straight over to the final topic?
Sure.
Sony cuts PlayStation job despite growth. So obviously we've heard loads of Sony growing and being very successful and making billions of dollars in revenue year on year, and just sort of destroying and leading the market. But yet they're cutting jobs across the board, which is quite interesting considering only a week ago they was talking about Xbox collapsing because they lost some jobs at Initiative. People left. So now Sony across the board are dropping staff. What's your views on this?
Up to 90 employees were laid off as part of global transformation. But who are you asking about their thoughts on this? Ash, I'm gonna pick on you. And
Tough choice.
Yeah.
So many options.
Who I could go to
So many. Yeah, we'll go with Red.
I think it's just.
I'm offended.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's understandable why.
I'm just gonna go wee.
You're just gonna go for like half an hour.
I don't really need to go. I wanted to say for a while I was gonna write it in the chat. I don't know when to put it in.
He probably stands at the toilet with his pants down around his ankles.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll keep my headset on so I can still hear. While I'm going, I can still hear you talking, Red. While I'm going.
I'm just gonna be silent now. Ashtray, your turn to talk.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on it? Because he's just creeped me out.
Well, I had a look through the article, and it's the 90 people are from their merchandising,
retail.
yeah, and yeah, so retail. So look, it's they've obviously had some stores around the place, brick and mortar stores that they're selling apparel and other bits and pieces, and look, we all know that pretty much everything is online now. You know, it's really no different to when Microsoft closed down a lot of their Microsoft stores. What was that, last year or the year before?
Yeah, within the last.
And there was
2
an
years,
outcry of people saying, you know, oh, Microsoft is doomed. You know, they're selling stores and closing stores down, and you know, and all that kind of stuff. But obviously, they relocate the employees where they can to fit in other sections and segments of the business. So I don't know if they're really doing that here, because apparently one of the employees was disappointed that they only gave him 2 weeks notice, which isn't great. Yeah, I don't know what country that was, but it just said that they were only given 2 weeks notice, and that that wasn't a lot of time to help and assist in relocation, or you know, to help them find another job. So that's probably where it's most disappointing. Closing down a retail store where you're paying thousands and thousands of dollars a month on rent.
Yeah.
Or if they own the building,
but
you know,
put that
then
money somewhere else
fees
into the
and things.
company.
100%, and that's what they're doing. So they'll just sell those products online, whether it's hardware or just apparel, or just bits and pieces like controllers and things like that.
60.
They just
Sorry,
I
go.
was just going to say, so they just really just don't need the stores.
Yeah.
We don't even know where the stores are located. They're probably in areas where they just weren't doing well anyway. Not a lot of foot traffic. It might be a shitty suburb or something like that. So
yeah,
it makes sense. There's no where there's smoke, there's fire. It's just
Not the
just
sky is
a move.
falling trash that people want to think it is. Yeah, I agree.
Nah.
I mean, it's just interesting to see that this is actually a topic that, like, an article that is up, considering like these things generally get glossed over for the most part.
And Kotaku of all
Yeah.
publications.
I mean, if it gets glossed over when it's PlayStation side, it doesn't necessarily get glossed over when it's Xbox side. Not saying that this is biased, but I think there's just understanding where your who clicks on your articles and catering to that. They even talked about what retail marketing team also affected, and one source said that it was completely shut down, that side. But like, if you don't think that going to a physical store is going to change, like 62% of all PlayStation games that were sold last year were purchased digitally. So the digital uptake is coming. More DRM, which is very sad on both the Xbox and PlayStation side. No one really wants it. Obviously, there's going to be some cases where it's more beneficial based on the games that are specifically online-only games. But games where they have, like, offline options, the DRM seems a bit pointless around that. But, like, a lot of this is coming off the back that the pandemic. So people have changed the way that they choose to purchase games. And when you find convenience in purchasing games digitally, the likelihood of you going back to physical sales or physical, oh my god, can't think, whatever it is, content.
Physical media.
Yeah, that's the word, media, that's what I was after. Diminishes over time. Obviously, you're going to get people who have the disc version of both systems and will go out and get a really good deal because pre-owned games and such, but we're going to see that less and less. A lot of those stores like EB Games has really switched to merchandise around like gaming merchandise and rather than actual physical games. That's not really
Pokemon cards.
Yeah, Pokemon cards. They even do repairs for like consoles and stuff, so you're getting more value out of them now. Like, I just got my Elite Series 2 controller repaired. Because the
right bumper.
Yeah, the right bumper. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I got that back just this week and thoroughly.
Jeez, you've had real bad trouble with stuff, haven't you? Your controller, your Xbox.
Yeah, I've never had any issues at all until.
What are you doing to your stuff?
Until the last 18 months. No, I keep all the boxes and all the packaging. Like, I'm one of those people. Like,
yeah, I do too.
I take care of my stuff. Like,
I don't.
Whenever I used to buy physical media, they would say, "Do you want to take out the cost, like, to pay for the disc warranty, or whatever it was?" And I was like, "No, I take care of my discs, and I do. Literally, all of them pristine condition."
Yep.
And I know I grew up in a household where my mum was like, "Hey, if you break it, I'm not buying you it a second time." So I take care of my thing. But I've had really bad luck. I will agree. I've had really bad luck in the last 18 months with some of my stuff. But I mean, I thrashed the hell out of that controller, so that's probably my fault.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, you're right. Like, everyone's buying. A lot of people are buying digitally now. It took me a little while. I sometimes buy a physical disc.
I do.
If it's cheaper, and all that kind of stuff. But majority of the time, I'll also buy a physical disc if I want that game, like, forever, and I want it as part of a physical collection, if you know what I mean. So that, one day if I want to sell it, I might make some good money out of it, kind of thing. Because a lot of people are going digital. So if anything, a physical games are going to be worth a lot more down the track because they're going to be harder and harder to get. Collectors and things like that. So I've got Earthworm Jim. I've got a few copies of Earthworm Jim on my. I'm just going to go off on a tangent for a sec. But on my Sega Mega Drive, I've got a couple of copies because I bought them. I could see the price rising on eBay.
Yep.
So I bought a couple of copies, $60 each, and some people have already got them for $1,000. because not people have been buying them over the last couple of years, knowing that they're going to go up.
Yep.
And yeah, now that people are posting them for $1,000, and I'm like, nice. I knew that was going to happen, so I got in.
Good on
Anyway,
you.
so yeah, so physical every now and
I
then,
think,
but
I think
Elite, in all seriousness,
think-
what do you think about this? Because it's just a merchandising,
This is
retail.
their
Yeah.
retail arm, yeah.
I think physical is on the way out.
It definitely is.
I'll tell you what else is on the way out. Exit signs. They're on the way out.
Oh my god. Oh my god. And the stream is over. It was lovely talking to you guys, but I'm gonna go murder Elite for that pun. It was a good pun. I'm gonna appreciate it. It was good. That was so
Yeah. So I've lost where I was talking. What's train of thought now? Oh, I'll tell you what,
You
albinos.
lost
You
your
can't say
dignity.
fairer than that.
okay. You've lost your dignity here, mate.
Right. Yeah. So this was what we're talking about. PlayStation losing staff.
Elite,
Right. So
there's
it
no
was
one
just
watching anymore.
So it's
They
just
all
this.
left
So it's
because,
just
you
his
know, after that
staff.
pun.
So it's just in store, was it? Yeah. I think about 80. I think this was back about 5 years ago. 80% of people that buy games now is digital. So I think physical is very rare. The only physical game I've got now is Cyberpunk, which my daughter bought me for Cyberpunk when it released. Bought me the physical copy, as I told you, Red, and I've got an Xbox Series Slim, which is not got a disc drive. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, I'm gutted. So I'd like to be able to play it, but I can't. So I've got to do, but yeah, I've always only bought physical, just because we share. That's because we share games. Me and my son share games, which we'll show you later. Elite Ashtray had to do, but yeah, I've never grasped the reasoning for physical. I used to do it years ago when I was young, along like you guys. I'm just sort of looking up into the void now, remembering when I was young. But yeah, but I'm past that now. I don't really care for owning my games.
Were the dinosaurs still alive when you were that young?
I was before. I predated dinosaurs.
So
It's
we're
me
carbon
who got them
dating
going.
you now. Damn.
I was like, yeah, like Adam and Eve, but to dinosaurs.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Anywho.
But
I think we're kind of done, right?
yeah, we are done. Are we done?
Is there anything that you guys want us to, like, any questions that you guys have in the chat for us, or anything
I have
that you
one.
want us to talk about before we head
Me?
out?
Hello.
We're not talking about
I was going to
you.
mention. No, I was good. I think we touched on briefly about Morbius, didn't we, before the show? Didn't we talk about that? And I think it's going to be poo. I'm really worried because it's set in the Venom universe. But has anyone seen? Is Thingy released yet? Moon Knight.
Yeah, that's out.
It is out because I looked on Disney today and I couldn't see it on there. Disney Plus. I didn't see it on there.
I don't know if it's in the premium, whatever it is, but I know that someone else was talking about they watched it in our community game night chat. They were talking about it.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I want to watch that. And then also Halo Infinite, the TV series. Has anyone watched that yet? I think I might. I was thinking
yeah.
waiting for. Is it any good or not? Is it poo?
I've only watched the first episode so far.
Oh, you've got the second
Yeah.
episode to go away.
Have you got the free thing off Xbox where you get Paramount for a month or something?
No, they don't have that over here, or not that I could find. So what I had to do is I got Paramount Plus on my mobile phone, and I just stream it to the TV that way.
Did you use a
Yeah,
VPN on your phone for that?
Xbox was offering Paramount Plus, wasn't they, for a month?
No, well, we already subscribed to Paramount Plus anyway.
Oh, we don't get it in the UK, Paramount Plus.
We
so
don't
we
have
can't.
it in New Zealand either. I have
They
to
don't.
illegally download and watch the game that way. I mean,
Why did you say? Why did you say that
Legally,
live?
legally.
I legally do stuff live.
Well, it's fine.
Oh.
I just,
Yeah, it's fine.
it's fine.
No, they've only got 11 people watching. Not very much that one of them is the FBI.
Yeah, highly doubt that. But I mean, shout out to everyone who joined us live. But
Thank you.
what is everyone up to for the rest of the day? Ashtray, what are you up to before we head out?
Yeah, I think I might actually have some breakfast because I'm hungry, and another coffee because that's.
What'd you have for breakfast in Australia? We want to know.
Food that you would have for breakfast in the United Kingdom. I was going to say
Well,
United States.
Oh, you just gonna say also, were you?
Yeah, I was going to say something fucking else.
I mean, obviously we have Vegemite over here, which is obviously
We have
very strange
Marmite.
to most other
Yes,
countries,
it's
but that
strange.
shit is
Yeah.
delicious.
I love it.
Oh, we have Marmite.
Yeah.
No,
But-
don't even put them in the same sentence, sir.
He's
Are they not
talking,
the-
no, he's
not
not
the
talking
same?
about
How-
the New Zealand Marmite. He's talking
how
about the English
dare you.
Marmite. Because
They're
there's a
both-
New
Yeah.
Zealand Marmite and there's the
Oh, is there?
Australian Vegemite as well. I like them both.
Yeah, no, Vegemite's better.
That's
They
good.
don't have any of that in America.
You can buy Vegemite in the UK,
Yeah.
just like really expensive.
Yeah, yeah.
But
You
yeah,
should start.
it's
Why don't you just start
delicious.
sending them in and I'll sell them and we split the costs?
Mm.
Yeah, we just start making money, ripping people
But
off.
yeah,
I'm all
what
for that.
else are you up to, Astro? Before we go on this weird tangent.
Yeah, look, I'll probably try and get some gaming in today, but I've got the little
yeah.
kids, the kiddie winkles,
Are you
so
coming to
I'll have
community
to.
game night?
Your
Yes,
kids.
but I might be late.
That's okay, because I think we're going to be playing
Division 2.
Division 2, and we might have, if we get enough, we'll probably have 2 groups running.
How many per team?
I
How
think
many
we
per
have
group?
four in a group.
Team, yeah, 4 in a squad.
4 in a squad, yeah.
I actually saw that, so I loaded it up last night just before I went to bed to
playing it
reacclimate
yesterday,
a little
yeah. bit,
and yeah, I love that game.
I've barely played it. I've got 2 characters. I created a new character yesterday, just because I wanted to. But I've barely played that game, and I loved the first one, and I love the second one, but I haven't, because I don't want to play that game by myself, and I keep forgetting to play that with other people. Yeah, so it's going to be nice to do that for community game night. Yeah, Boba's going to be joining us. But so
Have we had a community game night on Back for Blood yet?
we did actually, yeah.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah. But if anyone is interested in coming to join one of our community game nights, it is 8 p.m. Australian time, the Eastern Australian time, right? And 10 p.m. New Zealand time. That would be like 10 a.m.
UK.
British Standard Time, yeah. UK time.
But who cares?
Yeah, but yeah, who cares about that? No, I'm kidding. But just flick me a message or add me on Xbox, and I will. You guys can come and join us. Yeah, there's a whole group of us who play together, and then I might be there for the American community game night on the Sunday. Who knows? Maybe.
Indeed. Yeah, I'll be out for dinner, so I might be late.
That's
all
okay.
right.
That's all right. I mean,
I'll jump in.
I'm gonna be. What am I doing today? I am staining a fence today, so I'm not even going to be gaming during the day. I can only game this evening. I'm staining a fence.
So this is after the water blasting.
Yes, it's all done. It's all done. I've water blasted every service I needed to, and now I'm staining.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I've been watching recently.
We didn't ask you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm
after
actually
this?
drinking. I'm actually drinking whiskey, apple whiskey at the moment. Apple JD.
Is that to try and
I
make it
don't know.
healthy?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's one of my 5 a day now, so I'm drinking 5 of them a day.
5 a day keeps the doctor away.
There you go. There you go. Oh, that was good. That was good.
But what was no? You ruined it. Oh.
You're the one
Hey,
drinking.
Elite, what have
You're
you been up to?
Oh yeah, no, I was watching. No, me and the missus has been watching. What's the Australian, where they get married first sight?
Married
Australian.
at first sight.
Oh,
crap.
don't
It's-
watch that, dude.
Oh, don't. Come on.
You'll lose
You'll
brain
lose brain
cells
cells.
if you watch that shit.
See you later. Would have been doing it. Oh,
Don't
it's
do it,
awful.
man. Don't do it.
God.
It
For the
is
love of
awful.
God, don't do it.
Oh, it's awful.
I hate watching that
These-
stuff. I don't watch The Bachelor or The Bachelorette or any of that crap.
I feel sorry for the guys. The girls in there are just
That's
awful people. Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
trash
Anyway.
TV, man.
Yeah, they're all
It is.
niggas. Yeah.
Don't do it.
You can see a lot of them on there just basically just for the popularity of it. Yeah.
Just no Elite. I agree.
Never
Like
looking.
I was playing the Division 2 last night. And I was like, oh, I love the cover system and everything. I was like, oh, it just reminds me of playing Gears. So I definitely get you there. It is a really good game. I actually can't wait to see what the next division is going to be like properly. Because have they announced it? I think they did.
Who makes the division?
Ubisoft.
Is it
It's
Ubisoft?
no drop engine.
Yeah. Hey, they might put it on
Oh.
a new engine. It would be nice.
What's wrong with Snowdrop? I like it.
I don't know. Has it been upgraded for?
Yeah,
next
Red. What's
gen?
wrong with Snowdrop?
It drops snow. I have no idea.
Oh.
That was lame, but funny.
What's wrong with it?
Oh,
Its name.
drops, no.
I don't know. I need to go do something else after this. Okay.
Conjunctivitis.com. That's a site for sore eyes.
Thank you to all who are watching live, who join us weekly. We will be back next week as well. It will be slightly different times in the chat because we're losing daylight savings this
Tomorrow.
week.
Yeah.
Tomorrow for us over in Australia and New Zealand. Yeah, so it'll be slightly different around that. But thank you. Hit the like button.
Please sub and share,
out.
yeah.
Sub.
If you like
Yeah.
this.
And if Elite is being too fanboy-y on Twitter, just call his shit out, you know? Just call him out.
Call me out.
Call him out.
Come at me.
Here we go.
Come at me, brah.
Yeah.
No, I was just going to say.
You bro when you come at him, though.
Yeah, if you like the channel, please sub and share it out. And, you know, it is probably, I think, one of the best podcasts in the world. So
Yeah, because Ashtray and I,
it'd
it'd be even better if you weren't. I'm kidding.
Well,
man.
that 3 minutes where he went for a tinkle was probably the best part of the show.
Oh, yeah, it was. It was great. Yeah.
Was it just Rick talking?
Did you let me